Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock. It's here, it's Magic TV. It's time for Magic News. Every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, Magic News. This is where I summarise everything that's happened in the Magic community over the last week, and I give you my thoughts. Now, I'm not just going to be talking about news, I'm going to be talking about some of the new tricks that have come out that I haven't yet had a chance to look at, I haven't yet reviewed. I'm going to give you my first impressions. But honestly, normally at this point before Christmas, there's nothing going on. Everything's quiet, but oh my God, it is kicking off in the Magic community and then some. If you don't know what's going on, you're about to find out with this week's Magic News. So first of all, on the Magic Cafe, there is a huge thread going on, and it's not just happening on the Magic Cafe, it's also happening on Reddit, it's also happening on various different forums and Facebook groups. People are talking about Dan Harlan. Now, I think it's fair to say that Dan Harlan is one of the most respected magicians of all time. Dan has created more magic than anybody else, I would imagine, ever. And what he managed to do with Penguin Magic when he was with Penguin Magic with the Tarbell series is nothing short of phenomenal. Phenomenal. Can't speak today. Well, we have a small problem because a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, Dan Harlan announced that he was bringing out a set of 3 books. It was going to be his work, his life's work. It's going to cover everything he's done. And he was going to call it the Masterworks, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. And he took pre-orders. Now, I did not pre-order, in all honesty. So I'm summarising this for you from what everyone is saying online. But I think the pre-orders were a couple of $100, $250, and he promised that the first book would be out October 2024, which was a couple of months ago. And anybody who pre-ordered went onto a mailing list so that they could hear updates and so on and so forth. And I believe that he sent out a PDF on the jumping rubber band. I'm not too sure. This is what I've read online, and I've spoken to a couple of people who have pre-ordered. Now, the problem is October has come and gone, and the first Masterworks volume, which was promised in October of this year, has not materialized. Now, people have been getting increasingly more and more irate about this, not necessarily because the book has yet to be delivered, because delays happen. I've talked about this before on this channel. The thing about pre-ordering is that can happen, that timescales can change. You know, I mentioned just the other week, Illusionist, they didn't deliver the Tobias stuff on time, but, you know, it's not a problem because they communicated with people. The issue that people have is that Dan has been completely radio silent on the subject. He hasn't sent an email out for a very, very long time about anything. There are people on Reddit, there are people on the Magic Cafe that are saying that they're seriously concerned, that they've asked for a refund, that they've emailed in asking what's going on, and Dan has not got back to them at all. Dan has not made a public announcement about anything at all. Dan has not mentioned a thing, and even for the people that say, hey, I want a refund, you're not communicating with me, there's been radio silence with the people asking for a refund as well. And obviously this is making Dan look not so good, which is a shame because his work that he did with Penguin Magic really kind of brought him back into the community as the hero that he deserves to be, because obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, Dan went through some troubles in his life a few years ago. That's all been forgotten, and everything that he did over Penguin just shows that the person he is amazing. But this is kind of taking things a step backwards. And the real issue here is communication. I've talked about this before. The real issue is communication. People will be very, very forgiving as long as you communicate with them as to what's going on. Unfortunately, the only communication that people have had is a PDF that was sent out showing how to do the jumping rubber band. And on his social media, he's just got married recently. And congratulations to Dan. And his wife posted on social media wanting people to raise funds for Dan so that he could have a laptop, because he needed a new laptop, and all of his family have had laptops and he didn't, and she was trying to raise money to get a laptop for Dan. And that's annoyed people even more, because a lot of people on Reddit and on the Magic Cafe are saying, well, hang on a minute, X amount of people pre-ordered for these books. That's a whole load of money. Surely, in order to deliver these books, you're going to need something to do it on that works effectively. But now we're being told we have to pay extra money in order to get a laptop. So where are the books? What's happened to them? And that's the only communication that people have had. Look, here's the thing. This is why you'll never see me release a trick independently. I'm always going to go through a production company, because even though I've got an infrastructure in my office, it's not a robust enough infrastructure to know that I could deliver what I promised I'd deliver. And honestly, that's the most important thing. I want to be in a situation where I say, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Dan needs to be in the same situation. We see this all the time. There's been lots and lots of people over the years that have promised to deliver something and then failed and annoyed their fan base. You know, everyone, I don't need to say names. I think everyone knows who I'm talking about. There's a bunch of people in the past that have said they're going to deliver parcels. They say they're going to deliver products. They haven't. Normally, these people start off working with a production company and everything's fine. And then they go and work on their own because they're going to think they're going to make more money on their own. And then what happens is they don't deliver whatever it is they've promised they deliver. And then they start alienating and annoying the people that are buying into it. What is the situation here? I'm not too sure. If Dan's watching this, and I'm very sure he's not, my advice to Dan would be to communicate. Open communication. If that first book's not finished, say so. Tell people. Let people know. People are going to be annoyed if you don't communicate with them. You promised the book almost 3 months ago now. It's not appeared. It's not materialized. There's complete and total radio silence. People are wanting refunds. They're wanting their money back. They're still not hearing from you. And as things go on, and as it progresses, you're going to get more and more people wanting refunds. If you're just open and honest about the situation and you tell people exactly where you are, then I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue. Dan Harlan is a good guy and a creative genius. I think he just needs someone to come in and help him out and help him with the communication side of things and perhaps the admin side of things so he can focus on what he does best. At least that's my opinion. Talking about the Magic Cafe, the next piece of news I want to tell you about is something that I read on Reddit, which is, and it's true, I checked it, Google no longer recognizes the Magic Cafe. Now, I've been saying for a while that the Magic Cafe is becoming more and more irrelevant as time goes on. A lot of people that go on the Magic Cafe these days are the people that have been on it for years. You don't get new members of the Magic community going on the Magic Cafe. I speak to people that have been in Magic for like a year or two, and they turn around to me and they go, "No, I've never been on there." And obviously, you have people leaving the cafe all the time, maybe because they leave the Magic world, maybe because they've just got sick to death of it, whatever the reason. Well, now this problem has been compounded and made a lot worse by the fact that Google no longer recognizes the Magic Cafe. In the past, up until recently, to be perfectly honest, when you typed in a product, there would be lots of hits for the Magic Cafe because the Magic Cafe is a great resource. There's so much information on there, especially about older tricks. Now, you don't get that. You never see hits on Google for the Magic Cafe. Even if you type into Google as a search, Craig Petty, Magic Cafe, or whatever, or, you know, latest trick, Magic Cafe. Magic Cafe hits tend not to come up. I did it with my name, and a bunch of videos that I made about the Magic Cafe came up, but nothing about the Magic Cafe. Now, I don't know why this is. People on Reddit are speculating. I'm kind of okay at SEO. I'm not an expert. That's why I hire an SEO company to actually index my site and sort my SEO out for me. But I do know that there's been a lot of changes with Google recently, and a lot of those changes have meant that companies and forums and so on and so forth that did appear high up on Google are no longer appearing high up on Google. I do know that the Magic Cafe is quite old, and maybe that's a problem. I don't know. Maybe the work that needs to be done behind the scenes to index the site isn't being done, and so therefore Google's not picking it up anymore. I don't know. There's probably a million different reasons, and I know that you constantly need to be working on it. I've got a team in there that are working on the websites that I own constantly to make sure that they're at the top of their game. If people aren't doing that behind the scenes, then maybe that's a problem. Some people have speculated on Reddit that the cafe have done this on purpose so that people can't find out secrets when they search for it. The Magic Cafe is basically unsearchable. I don't think they would do that. I don't think that's a thing at all. And if they had have done that, or they did do that, I'm sure they'd be shouting about it from the rooftops and saying, hey, we've made a big change and this is why we've made it. This is something that's not been announced by the Magic Cafe. This is not being said by anybody. But basically, the Magic Cafe has become completely unsearchable. kind of an interesting situation, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody who's got a little bit more expertise than me can understand why. If I had to hedge a guess, I think it's because Steve Brooks has been very, very busy. I don't know how reliable the team is around him, but I imagine a site of that level would take a lot of maintenance behind the scenes to keep up. And I just don't think that things have been done, which means that Google aren't indexing the site anymore. You can't find it on Google at all. And honestly, new people coming into the industry, one of the ways they found a cafe was by searching on Google and seeing that cafe hit come up again and again and again. If that's not in the Google search, I think we're starting to see the beginning of the end for the big green monster. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Okay, quick piece of news before we go into some meaty stuff. For anybody in the UK that has access to Channel 5, there's a ton of content going up over Christmas to do with Tommy Cooper. There's a load of content for Tommy Cooper fans over Christmas. But specifically on Channel 5, on the 30th of December at 9 p.m, if you're a Tommy Cooper fan, this is a night when you want to earmark in your calendar. Because, first of all, there's a new documentary that's going to be presented for the first time. It's called Tommy Cooper, The Lost Tapes. And it's got a lot of archival footage, and it takes an interesting spin on looking at Tommy Cooper. So that's something that you want to see. And then following that, immediately after that, you're going to have a Tommy Cooper double bill. You're going to have Tommy Cooper's original Christmas special from 1973 and his original Christmas special from 1974. And they are going to be shown directly after the Lost Tapes. So basically, the 30th of December in the evening on Channel 5, it's Tommy Cooper night. If you want to see the original Christmas specials from 73 and 74, and you also want to see the new documentary on Tommy Cooper with lots of archival footage, then you want to check out Channel 5. I think that's going to be a very interesting night if you're a fan of magic and specifically Tommy Cooper. Okay, let's talk about some tricks that have come out in the last week or so. First of all, the first trick I want to talk about is Hepex, which looks like one of the best coin routines I've ever seen. And it's by Matt Wright. Marvellous Matt Wright from Marvellous Effects. Now, Matt has a record. He has a history of producing incredible magic. And, him and Mark Bennett have released The Queen's Nose and following on from that, The King's... whatever it was, great coin routines. Obviously, Matt has also created what I think is the best version of Three Flight ever, Final Destination, where you literally see that final coin float across from one side of the hands to the other. Well, he's at it again. He has revolutionized the copper-silver transposition. He brings out an English penny. He brings out an American $half. He points out that on an English penny, you've got the Queen, and on a $half, you've got Kennedy, obviously. The spectator holds on to one of the coins, the copper coin, you hold on to the silver coin. You rub the silver coin, and now in place of Kennedy, you have the Queen. You have the copper head of the Queen right there on the silver $half. And then when they look at the copper English penny, right there on the head of the copper English penny is the silver Kennedy outline. So it's kind of like a partial transposition. Reminds me a little bit of Houdini Escapes by El Duco from years ago, but also completely different. This is amazing. It's one of those things that I genuinely wish I'd thought of. Matt is a genius, and you're going to see live performances. You're going to see multiple different ways of actually handling the trick. And I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be doing. It looks like a very commercial copper-silver. Can't wait to get my hands on that. So there you go. If you want it, it's up through Murphy's, through all magic dealers. Hepex by Matt Wright. Another thing that's come out recently in the last week that you should definitely check out. I haven't got it yet. I can't give you a full review, but I am going to be getting it. You've got Odyssey by Chris Philpott. Now, if you don't know Chris Philpott, he is the man that created and invented the 100th monkey principle, which has been performed literally all over the world, which gives your spectator the ability to, it gives you, the mind reader, the ability to take away the spectator's ability to read. And it's an incredible effect. If you haven't seen 100th Monkey, please go check it out. Well, what he's done here, Chris Philpott has got his daughter, Jenny, I think her name is, who's a graphic designer, to design a travel magazine. And from the trailer, this looks like a very real magazine. I mean, I think that anytime you do something like this, the project lives and dies by how authentic it looks. It's why I spent so much time on my toys routine wanting to make that look just like a toys catalogue. Well, this is the same thing. It really does look like a travel magazine, but it's got 10 effects built into it. First of all, it's got the 100th monkey principle built into the magazine. So you can have them open up the magazine and you can take away their ability to read. According to the trailer, there's a really fun routine that involves drinking and taking their ability to read, and after looking at some cocktails or something. As I say, I haven't got it. I'm just summarizing this from the trailer, but that looks really good. He's got some really cool book test type principles built into it. He's got some really cool kind of remote viewing type things built into it, drawing duplications, having them think of somewhere and being able to tell them where they're thinking of. The cool thing about this magazine is you can read it like a magazine. He points out in the trailer, if you read the article about Paris, it's an article about Paris. If you read the article about living on a boat, it's actually about living on a boat, which is kind of really interesting. There's also the Pegasus page built into it. So you've got the Pegasus page built into there. You've got a spectator reads the spectator's mind style routine, all built into one magazine. You got some incredible quotes. I mean, the whole trailer opens up with a quote from Banachek saying, "This is fucking brilliant." I mean, when it comes to quotes, you can't get much better than that, can you? So, yeah, Odyssey by Chris Philpott. It's $100, so it's not cheap. But it's the sort of thing that I think you can just throw into your cabaret case and you can have it in there and you can do a 10 or a 15-minute spot. You could put it, if you're a social performer, you could put it on your lounge table, and as people come round, you know, you can pick up the magazine and show them something. It's the sort of thing that you can have with you at all times and be ready to go. It looks really good. I can't wait to see it myself. So that's Odyssey, Chris Philpott. Again, it's gone out through Murphy's Magic. So all of the magic dealers have it. Another thing that I've seen come out recently is Jigsaw Deck by Vanishing Ink and by David Regal. This is a new Vanishing Ink David Regal collaboration. You can get it now from Vanishing Ink, and basically I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but apparently, according to the ad copy and the trailer, it's a self-working deck appearance. Now, David Regal is no stranger to making decks appear. You know, one of the most popular deck appearances of all time is Sudden Deck, which Penguin have the rights to. I think we're currently up to Sudden Deck 3, which is where you bring out just an empty card box and you first of all print it, then you close it, and when you open it, the deck of cards is in there. Well, now you've got this Jigsaw Deck, and from the trailer and the ad copy, basically you've got this deck of cards that's not a deck of cards, it's like little wooden jigsaw blocks, and you build this up into a deck. You put the deck in the box and it becomes a real box. Look, I've talked all of the time on this channel about the most important thing when you're doing close-up magic is the opener. Excuse me. The opener has to establish credibility, it has to be visual, and it has to get people interested in what you're doing. That's what this does. I don't know about the practicality. I do know it's David Regal, so it's probably going to be very, very good. David Regal has a history of creating nothing but commercial workers. But yeah, you can find out yourself. It's available from Vanishing Ink. It looks incredible. So Vanishing Ink, the Jigsaw Deck, David Regal, looks like it's going to be everyone's new favourite opener as far as I can see. Okay, this snuck under people's radar. No one's making a big song or dance about this yet, but I've just noticed that through Murphy's, Magic Smith have bought out a mini double cross. Now, double cross is one of the most iconic magic routines of all time. Everybody and their mother performs double cross. I performed double cross for years. I took a step back from it for a while because honestly, everybody was doing it. But, you know, now they've brought out mini double cross, which is double cross but built into a mini Sharpie. And obviously, as you know, a mini Sharpie is designed to be hung on your keychain. So now you can do double cross as a true everyday carry. You can just literally put it onto your keychain. You can have it hanging there. And when you want to do double cross, all you have to do is take your keys out. And obviously, you're going to have Keymaster on there, aren't you? Put the keys to one side, and then you're ready to go into double cross. I mean, what a fantastic idea. So, mini double cross, Magic Smith, a no-brainer. If you do double cross, this is absolutely something that you should pick up. Okay, two more new releases. The next one is Coin Barn by Rocco and Roy Coopers. Now, Roy Coopers is an incredible coin gaffer. He's the man responsible for things like the Tribloon coin set, Mirage coin set, Apparition, Nightshade, basically all of the elite coin range through Alakazam. But he's now teaming up with Rocco and bringing out Coin Barn. Now, if you don't know Rocco, Rocco has been around since time began. He's an incredible coin magician, expert at sleeving, just all-round good guy. And Rocco has developed something called Coin Balm, which uses a lip balm and a coin. Now, there's a lot of flash paper used in the actual trailer, but he does say that there's ways of actually doing this without using the flash paper. So if you're under 18 and you're not allowed to use flash paper, there are options there. But basically, Coin Balm is you make a coin, you make a lip balm appear, you hand it to the spectator, you bring out a coin with a piece of string on it, the coin vanishes in a burst of fire, and then when they open the coin balm, when you open the lip balm, the coin and the piece of string is in there. Looks quite visual. There's a lot of live performance footage on the trailer, which obviously bodes well. Can't really comment on it, but I do love coin to impossible location, and I do love using lip balms, as you know. So those two combined together is a really cool idea. I'm going to pick it up. I'll let you know what I think, but for now, you can get it directly from all good magic dealers because it's out through Murphy's Magic. Okay, one final trick to talk about that's got released this week is Focus by myself and Murphy's Magic. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I will tell you, if I never do another deck of specially printed cards again, and there's a big question mark over whether I will, but if I never do another set of specially printed cards again, I'm glad that I left Focus till last, because Focus is incredible. If you like movies and you like having the ultimate system to be able to perform magic and mentalism at the drop of a hat, then Focus is for you. I absolutely love it. I'm so proud that I got to work with Phil Smith again. I'm not going to say anything else because you're going to see a few videos on this subject coming up over the coming weeks. But for now, let me just say, Focus is available, and I think it's the best thing that I've released in 2024. Right, moving on. Let's look at another piece of kind of controversial news. So, if you haven't been keeping up with Magicians Only, then you won't know about a piece of controversy surrounding Jason Simons. So, if you don't know who Jason Simons is a professional magician and hypnotist and has been performing magic for a long time. He's a full-time professional close-up magician, hypnotist, based in South Wales near Cardiff, and has been in the Cardiff Magic Circle, the Cardiff Magic Society, for a very long time, and has recently posted all over social media saying that he's upset with the Cardiff Magic Society because they've effectively kicked him out of the society. The brief TDLR around this is that during lockdown, Jason started doing kind of videos on his Instagram and on his YouTube, teaching people how to do simple self-working card tricks. And he has built up quite a following doing these. He's actually become a bit of an influencer in the magic world, and he's got a big following of people that watch these tutorials that he puts out. And he's put a very long post on his own personal Facebook as well as on Magicians Only, basically outlining what happened. And to keep it very brief, he left the Cardiff Magic Circle for a while for a variety of different reasons. He was told at the time that he wasn't breaking the law or any laws of the Magic Society by doing these videos. He popped in and watched some lectures while he was no longer a member, and then he came back to want to rejoin, and he was told that he would no longer be allowed to join the society. He's spoken to the president of the Cardiff Magic Society. He's spoken to various different people, and they've effectively told him that he's not allowed to come back to the Cardiff Magic Society again because he exposes magic. While he was away, they changed the rules. He said that if he comes back to the society, he will follow their rules. He was also told that he raised his voice during an AGM, which he disagrees with completely. And if you want to see the full thing, just go and look at Jason's social media. So the crux of the matter is that the Cardiff Magic Society have told Jason Simons he can no longer be a member because he is exposing magic by doing tutorials of self-working card tricks to lay people. And they've said that is why he can't be in the society. And there was a statement that he put from the Cardiff Magic Society, or the Cardiff Magic Society put a statement or something saying they've changed their rules and they don't want to be associated in any way, shape or form with anybody who reveals secrets to lay people, something along those lines. And there's been a lot of back and forth. And always when we get into this situation, there's a lot of a heated discussion. And there's people who are pro exposure, there's people that are against exposure, and it always gets very personal, it always gets very heated, it always gets a fair amount of name calling. And the bottom line is, look, I've talked about this before, I don't really want to spend too much time talking about it again. The problem is the magic world has changed. The whole world has changed, but the magic world has changed especially. In the old days, when this society was set up, people would probably go to a library if they wanted to learn secrets. Less people go to the library these days, but YouTube and social media in general is like a modern day library. The amount of times I go on YouTube if I want to learn how to do something. If I want to learn, it happened the other day. I needed to learn how to do something on, I can't remember which platform, a particular platform. I wanted to learn how to, WhatsApp, that's it. I was setting up WhatsApp business for something and there was something I was confused on. I went on YouTube and within like 2 minutes, I'd seen a video explaining exactly what I needed to do. And that was after half an hour of trying to follow WhatsApp's instructions and failing miserably. So YouTube is a great resource for people that want to learn. Social media in general is a great resource for people that want to learn. And I don't understand these antiquated attitudes of magicians who go, oh, we shouldn't expose things online. You don't understand what online is for. It's just the whole point of social media is so that people can find what they're interested in and go and watch content about it. And how the algorithms work is they're only going to really see that content if they've watched that content before and they've shown that they're interested in that content. And I don't believe that, like what's the difference between Jason putting a couple of videos up on social media and Penguin Magic selling magic to anybody with a credit card? What's the difference? Why is somebody allowed, if I search how to do magic tricks and Penguin Magic comes up and I've never done magic before, and I go and I drop £100 with my credit card on tricks from Penguin Magic, why is that okay? But it's not okay for somebody to go on YouTube and go and watch a video of someone teaching how to do a self-working card trick for free. Why is that a problem? And don't make it about rights and whether they should be allowed to teach it or not. That's a separate argument. The argument that people have here is whether or not somebody should be actually able to do that in the first place, regardless of whether it's public domain or it's not public domain. The Cardiff Magic Society is saying you shouldn't be allowed to do that, right? And they're not going to support anybody or have a member in their club for anybody who does expose magic online. But what is the difference? What is the difference between somebody going and spending £100 on their credit card on Penguin Magic and somebody going and watching those videos for free on YouTube? Because either way, they've invested something. The person with the Penguin Magic has invested money, whilst the person who goes on YouTube, if they've watched 7 or 8 videos and they've spent an hour or two watching those videos with a deck of cards in front of them trying it out, well, they've invested time. So we're saying that you should only really be able to get into magic if you can afford to, because that is some serious bullshit right there, if that's what people are saying. I genuinely don't get this. I think that anybody should have the right to go and learn magic if they want to. Anyone should have the right to go and learn magic. Go and check out the Alon Magic Society. They're 1,200 members strong and growing. Alon himself, the head of the society, will tell you he got into magic because of YouTube. If YouTube and social media and explaining tutorials about magic on YouTube didn't exist, then Alon wouldn't have actually set up that magic society. He wouldn't be in magic and we wouldn't have this incredible society that grows by the day. And he's not the only one. There are so many people now that are in magic because of finding a tutorial on YouTube. Oh, but somebody will watch a video on a self-working card trick, and then they'll be the ones that are going out to gigs going, nice double lift. No, they won't. Right, here's the thing. Right, honestly, tell me this. Go and tell me right now, what if you went doom scrolling on social media yesterday, right? So you went on social media. We all do it. We just mindlessly flick through videos. We watch one, we flick and we watch another one, we flick and watch another one. Tell me a video that you watched when you were doom scrolling yesterday. Tell me one. You won't be able to remember it. These videos are designed to grab people's attention, and then you flick on to the next one, you flick on to the next one. By the time you've put your phone to one side, you're not going to even remember what you looked at. You will if you're really interested in the subject, but if you're really interested in the subject, that's a different thing, because then you are a magician. You have a desire to learn how to do magic. If you're just scrolling through, and you're just looking at stuff that doesn't interest you, you're not going to remember what that is. You're definitely not going to remember watching an exposure video on the 21 card trick 3 weeks later when you're at a Christmas party watching a professional magician. And even if you do remember that video from 3 weeks ago, you're definitely not going to use that video to give you the information you need to work out how that guy is doing double cross. Look, there are certain things that people expose online that's wrong. I've talked about this. Justin Flom, people that expose marketed tricks, absolutely. But somebody like Jason going on and saying, hey, I want to do, I want to do some videos. And I know from watching his posts, I've not spoken to Jason about this, but I know by reading his posts, he's gone on there and said, hey, he's had messages from people, from parents of kids that have watched his videos and got into magic because of watching his videos, and they've had the parents message him saying thank you very much. That does more for magic than these antiquated, old-fashioned bullshit magicians that all they do is sit around wanting to turn back the time to the 1960s before the internet existed, thinking that the world hasn't changed around them and trying to slam the doors on the magic industry. Hello, McFly, wake up and smell the coffee. Things are changing. And the way that people get into magic is changing. And if you don't like that, then I'm sorry, but there's nothing that you can do about it. And the irony here, the cherry on the top, is the Cardiff Magic Society, who have gone on and publicly criticised Jason Simons, and publicly criticised him for standing up for himself and saying in a post that they will not associate themselves with anybody that puts tutorials online. Well, guess what, Cardiff Magic Society? I put tutorials online. Not as often as I do other videos. Go and check out Christmas Day last year. I did a 1 hour lecture online. Boxing Day this year, there's going to be an hour lecture online. Anybody that watches this channel will know I've done tutorials on coin vanishes. I've done tutorials on packet tricks, self-working card tricks. I've done that. Yeah, I put a load of other stuff on, and I don't do tutorials very often. But if you take all the tutorials that I've done and put them all together, it's probably more than Jason's done. And yet you are the guys that 2 weeks ago sent me an email going, hey, Craig, we've been told that your lecture's very good. We saw it at the Home Counties Magic Society, and they said you had a very good lecture. We'd like to book you to do our lecture with, we'd like to book you to do your lecture at Cardiff. Can you tell me the costs? And I went back and I told you how much it would be for a lecture. Well, here's the thing. You don't associate yourself, Cardiff Magic Society, with people that expose magic online. I don't. No way will I associate myself with antiquated bullshit, antiquated magic societies that are so far up their own arse that they want to spend more time going online and criticizing people that are actually doing something and getting people into magic, as opposed to sitting bitching and moaning about people because they're exposing a self-working trick online. I don't associate myself with those type of societies. So no, Cardiff Magic Society, I would not like to lecture for you. And any magic society that has that attitude, please, by all means, don't bother contacting. Okay, we've got one more piece of news. Ironically, it's kind of about the same sort of thing, because let's be honest, it's magicians. We always argue about exposure. Craig Browning on the Craig Browning on the Magicians Only Facebook group has posted saying Meta AI are offering a link on videos explaining how tricks are done, and that we all need to get together as a community and stop this, which is never going to happen ever in a million years, and honestly makes absolutely no difference at all. No one's going to watch those videos, and if somebody does watch I went, and he said it's happening an awful lot on Got Talent videos, so I went on a bunch of Got Talent videos. I eventually found one that linked through to a tutorial video. It was a 15-minute video, and honestly, no, it's not good that someone's gone and exposed a BGT act online at all by any stretch of the imagination. But anybody who sits there spending 15 minutes watching that video obviously has a bit of an interest in magic, because if they didn't, they wouldn't watch the video in the first place. I remember Ryland being really upset when he did the cube wall on the auditions of Britain's Got Talent, and a couple of months later a YouTube video went up explaining how the cube wall went, and I said it makes absolutely no difference, right? Nobody will look at it, nobody will remember it, and it will not affect anything. The following week he did a show in front of like 500 people, and he did the cube wall, and not a single person at all said anything, and it was all online. It was very easy to comment about, and nobody did. These things, there's more important things to worry about. But I don't think the thread went exactly how Craig Browning wanted it to go, because a lot of people were saying, hey, it's not a problem, don't worry about it. Again, it was split. Some people, as it always is in magic, right? And Craig posted, and I've written this down so I did not get the quote wrong. He went, in 5 decades of being involved in magic, the past 2 decades have been filled with egos that love tricks but not the craft. This thread has revealed a short list of people that don't give a crap about our art and protecting it. Idiots. That's what he said. And then somebody else commented saying there's a new breed of magicians who don't think exposure is bad. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, come on, dude. As somebody who made a name for themselves for a very long time, going online and slagging people off, I can tell you this is not the way to do it. So just because there are people on this thread that do not agree with you, because there's people on this thread that don't agree with you, you're saying they don't give a crap about our art, and they don't give a crap about protecting it, and they're idiots. That's exactly what you're saying. You say idiots numerous times over this thread, but you're calling anybody who disagrees with your point of view an idiot. You're saying that anybody who disagrees with your point of view, that they don't give a crap about our art. Well, here's the thing, Craig, and I don't really know you at all, but I'm going to tell you right now, I disagree with you. I disagree with you completely and totally. Does that mean I don't give a crap about our art? Does that mean I don't give a crap about protecting our art? Does that mean I'm an idiot? Because I'm telling you right now, Craig, and I don't know you, but I can guarantee you, I have done more in the last 4 years since starting Magic TV than you have in your entire 5 decades of magic. Now, I'm summarizing, I might be wrong. You might have created more magic than I'm aware of, but all I know is you're coming across as a bit of a dick in this particular comment. You really are. And I don't know what you've done. I don't know what you've accomplished, but I know every single day I get emails, I get messages saying how much I've changed people's lives. And a lot of these people are people who weren't in magic and came and found magic because of Magic TV. They were searching about, hey, magic and this sort of thing, and they find a video of me performing some magic, and then they might find a review show with me and Ryland. And then they'll find a mat test, and they'll see Match journey from being basically a muggle to becoming a guy who's gone out and done 30 or 40 gigs this month alone. Should I have not done that? Should I have not taken Matt under my wing and taught him how to do magic? Oh no, that's okay because he's in the office with you and it's one-on-one, so that's okay. So what about if I taught him over, what about if he found Magic TV over the internet like a million other people did, and they found one of my tutorials or one of my lectures that I put online for free? And is that bad? Is this exposure? Because I'm telling you right now, Matt goes out and kills it every single day, and he does that when 2 years ago he didn't even do magic. You say that I'm not protecting the art because I don't, because I don't give a crap about our art. I don't give a crap about protecting our art because I disagree with you. I care about our art. I care about making, the amount of free lectures I've done all over the internet just to try and give back to this community. Who the hell do you think you are? I've said this analogy before and I'll say it again. It's a little bit like wrestling. What we're going through right now in the magic industry is a little bit what wrestling went through in the 80s, 90s. In the 80s and the 90s, there was this thing called kayfabe. And it was, the whole idea is everyone, we all know now that wrestling is predetermined, right? We all know that wrestling is fake. I use that term very loosely because they're really getting hurt and they're really putting themselves through a lot of pain. But back in the 80s, back in the 90s, everyone thought it was real, to the point that the good guys only hung out with the good guys, the bad guys only hung out with the bad guys. They never mixed at all in any way, shape or form. They had to protect the industry, because if people found out it was predetermined and fake and scripted, nobody would watch it. Well, guess what? Come the 1990s, come the 2000s, kayfabe got thrown out the window. People knew it was fake. People knew it was scripted, but there was more business being done than ever before. And now in 2024, everybody knows there's show producers. You can go on the internet and literally a day after Monday Night Raw goes up, you'll find out who the show producers were. You'll find out who wrote the script. You'll find out spoilers about what's coming up because it's been leaked from production meetings and so on and so forth. And that's for every single wrestling company, AEW, TNA, everybody. Everyone knows that wrestling is not real, but guess what? It's in a boom period. AEW is struggling right now, but it's actually probably doing better than a lot of people think. WWE is smashing sales records. It's just signed a $5 billion contract with Netflix. Like, wrestling's more popular than ever before. Everybody knows it's not real, but they suspend disbelief because they enjoy it. They enjoy the entertainment. Well, guess what? That's the same with magic. Things change over time. A lot of people, they know that magic's not real. They're not stupid, but they also know it's very, very entertaining. And new people, it was very difficult to get into the industry back in the day, but these days, there's wrestling schools and wrestling camps set up all over the place. Openly, you can go on social media and you can see people training and learning how to do wrestling live on various different Instagram pages. With magic, it's exactly the same thing. Magic is more popular now than ever before. More people are getting into magic. More people are buying magic. The industry is in a really good shape. There's more conventions than ever before. And that's because new people are finding magic. And they're finding it in ways that maybe weren't as popular back then. Now YouTube is a great way to get people into magic. Just because you think that something's exposure doesn't necessarily mean that it's exposure. Honestly, it's really not. And I know you're worried about this, but please don't be worried about it, because honestly, you're going to get yourself worked up over nothing. You really are. As far as I'm concerned, magic is in a great place. And if people want to find out how something's done, they're going to find out. Regardless of the era. Back in the day, I really wanted to find out how magic was done. So I had to jump through some hoops. I went to some libraries. There was no internet back then. I went to some magic shops. I sent off for some stuff. But I became a magician because I was determined to do it. These days, we've just made it more accessible. If people want to get into magic, they can do so by going on YouTube. They can do so by shopping online on Penguin Magic or Vanishing Ink or whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean that magic's in a bad place, because it's not. And calling people idiots for not having your viewpoint isn't a great look, Craig. It's really not. And I would advise you to kind of think twice. Take it as somebody who used to spend a long time ranting on the internet about stuff that ultimately wasn't even that important. So there you go, guys. That's the magic news for this week. Hopefully I've caught you up. A lot of stuff going on. I'd like to know your opinion down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Inquiring minds want to know. What do you think? Are you pro-exposure? Are you against exposure? I want to know what your thoughts are, and I want to know whether you think exposure is good or bad for the Magic community. And I'm going to be back next Tuesday with another Magic news. But until then, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already done so, join the Netrix. That's www.thenetrix.com. I will see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.